Hey, yes sir. Welcome to another episode of Growth Track. My name is Sage Breed. Here we like to keep it short, sweet, simple, because you have things that you need to do. Y'all, today is a day like none other. Today is literally a day where I had to make a hard decision. And so I want to come to you and I'm going to let you know that you can make the hard decisions. And you know what that was? For me, that was growth. Because there's moments where I let fear keep me from what I believe is mine. There were moments where I used to let the fear of my own failures from the past keep me away from what I know I'm supposed to do. Maybe you feel the same way. Maybe there are thoughts in your mind that are keeping you from the very thing that you know is yours. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, ready? Growth. We're going to talk about growth. This is not just an action. It's literally a state of being. Growth is not just a state of being. Oh, you beat me to it. It's a mindset. This is what growth is. It is the act of being established and thriving. Growth is the act of being, let me slow it down. It's the act of being. Yeah, you got it. Okay? Growth is the act, the outward expression of your being established and of thriving. So we're going to talk about three things. So go ahead. You already know how we like to rock. Let's see. I got it right here. I got my pen. Hold up. I got my paper. We're going to take some notes, okay? We're going to talk about three things. I'm going to set that down. We're going to talk about growing pains. Okay? Growing pains. We're going to talk about upkeep. Thirdly, we're going to talk about like kind. You might have heard of like mind. We're talking about like kind. Let's jump in. Okay, so for the very first one, we're going to talk about growing pains. Because as a tree grows, it goes through trauma. When a tree grows, it literally has to break through the soil. Unfortunately, not just in one direction. See, that's the hard part. When a tree grows, it has to go down, so it's breaking the soil. It's literally destroying, disrupting, displacing the environment that it's around. Not only is it going down, but it's also coming up. Okay? So we are like trees. We're like trees because there's moments where we have to get rooted. We have to become established. And that, it causes us to branch out underneath, because as a tree, there's nutrients in your environment. As a tree, there's water, there's sustenance, there's something that you need in your environment, and you have to literally grow to obtain it. Like a tree, when we come up, man, we're just like, if I can just break through this barrier, if I can just break through this dirt, if I can just overcome these obstacles, it's gonna be smooth sailing. The hard part is, yes, when there's breakthrough, you've made it. You've broken the soil. And now you're exposed. You weren't exposed when you're in the dirt. You weren't exposed. But now you're feeling the pain of breakthrough. Now you're feeling the pain, the burden of your growth. And you have to survive and tough out the elements. That is why the dirt, your establishment in your environment, you changing your circle, that's why it's so important. Because now that you have a solid foundation, you are going to be built and prepared to withstand exposure. Okay? Growing pains. Now we're going to talk about point number 2, and that's upkeep. Just like whenever you walk around outside, you're like, oh wow, pretty flowers. Ooh, wow, look at that tree. Let me take a picture. right? We love things that look aesthetic. We love things that are beautiful. And maybe you heard this. Beauty is pain. Beauty is pain. And there's certain things that we need to do to ensure that that pain does not become our downfall, but instead that pain becomes our fuel. You already know where I'm headed with this. Discipline. Man, I love that word. Discipline. No discipline is pleasurable when it's happening, but if you withstand it, you will reap a harvest, and it will be fruitful. There are certain things that you're gonna have to change. Because yes, now that you've broken through the barrier, you've overcome that ceiling, now you have to deal with exposure. And when you have exposure, you're gonna start growing things that they weren't there originally. You're gonna start having new habits. You're gonna welcome in new friends. There's gonna be animals that wanna take refuge and shade in your branches. There's gonna be animals that are gonna try and eat you before you even have become a tree. Just like whenever there's acorns planted and you're doing yard work, maybe you don't know nothing about that, but I'm assuming that you do. Anyway, moving forward. Man, I don't want this tree here. Yank! We just ripped that thing right out of the ground. Okay? It's serious. This upkeep is no joke. This is why it's so important that yes, you have your environment. Yes, you have that. But what does the outside exposure bring? It brings you community. What does outside exposure bring you? It brings you, you're gonna love this one, accountability. Because they're gonna see things that you don't see. They're gonna see things that are like, whoa, why are you going that way? We need to be going up. Hey, there's a part of you that's growing, but it's not supposed to go that way. We're gonna have to chop that off. The areas that are growing, we're gonna make sure those keep going. We're gonna make sure that those keep moving. We're gonna make sure that not only are you growing, but we're gonna make sure it grows even stronger. That's the beauty of vision. When you have your vision written down, a tree knows how it's supposed to grow, up and out. Nature, it prunes all by itself. Nature, it establishes how it's supposed to go. The beautiful thing is, when we live in the residential, even in certain commercial lots, there's gardeners, there's groundkeepers, and they know because they have a vision of how it's supposed to look. And they keep it beautiful. They keep it thriving. Yo, so now we're gonna hit our third point. That one is like kind. Like kind. It's similar to like-minded, but it's slightly different because we can be like-minded, but we're not the same. We can be like-minded, but we're built different. When we talk about like kind, now we have found our people. When we talk about like kind, now we have found our group, our community. That's why it's important that we tap into places like our Patreon. That's why it's important that we tap into places where we can find strong community. Maybe you go to church. Maybe you go to men's groups. Maybe you go to women's groups. Maybe you go to book clubs. Maybe you go to the gym. Wherever you go, regardless where you go, get planted. Don't just become a pass buyer, but instead become a pillar. Don't just be somebody who's just waves and comes in and I don't know, maybe not today, but now it's weird when you're not there. Now it's like, whoa, something's off. Sage isn't here. Whoa, something's different. Huh. Hey, is everything all right? Yeah, it's all good. I just wasn't able to come in, but I'm gonna get it later. Thank you for checking in on me. I'm gonna be there tomorrow. Yeah, I'm actually right there. No, I'm here. Right? I'm giving you these different comments, these different sections, because when you surround yourself with like kind, all you can do is grow. You ever see, maybe you have, but come on, entertain the thought. Where do you find trees? With other trees, right? Where do you find plants? Generally with other plants. They're like kind. So surround yourself with people with the same type goals. Surround yourself with people with the same type vision. Surround yourself with people with the same type dreams. Okay? Growth is hard. It's who you are. It's an act of being. You're strong. You're smart. Y'all, I'm so proud of you. You have overcome a lot. You took a lot to establish the dirt. You've gone through a lot as you're headed towards that breakthrough. Maybe you're breaking through now. Maybe you're fighting off different kind of vision predators that are trying to kill the dream before it starts. I believe that you're gonna find a community that's gonna thin those predators, bro, those parasites away from you so you can grow. Not just grow, but so you can thrive. I'm proud of you. Once again, you're strong. You're smart. I love you. And until next time, peace.